Hey everyone, Dennis here, and welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be doing a first look with SoFi Money. Now, SoFi Money is an online bank similar to some of these other banks that we've talked about before on this channel. Now, I personally use Capital One 360, but I just learned more recently about this SoFi Money. So what we're gonna do today is actually do kind of a quick first look at the overall platform, actually show you how to set up an account if you're interested in doing so, and then talk a little bit about it. Now, this by no means is a full-on review. I do plan on doing that in the near future once I have a couple of weeks and months in my hands with this product, because if I'm gonna talk about it, I wanna make sure I get all the uses. So this is really just an overall look at getting started with SoFi Money. So make sure you click on that subscribe button down below and go ahead and tap that bell so that way when my full SoFi Money review does come out, you get notified right away, as well as with any of my other videos on the channel, and you guys can join in on the conversations right away. All right, SoFi Money is, as I mentioned, an online bank. Now, I personally use Capital One 360 when it comes to all of my personal banking. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I actually made a video talking about turning on banks so that way you can make some extra profit. This is where you open up a new bank and then they usually have some type of bonus for you. Now, most of these banks have some kind of requirement, and SoFi Money was one of those banks that I found while doing the research. So because of their bonus that they had for signing up, I went ahead and joined up. So I got to test out a little bit of the service to see what it was like, and I kind of want to give you guys this first look. And what we're gonna do, as I mentioned, is actually show you how to open an account so that way you can also go through the process as well. So as of this recording, currently SoFi is doing a sign up bonus where if you actually sign up through a referral link and put $100 into this bank account, you will actually make an easy 50 bucks. And I kid you not, it is super easy. All you have to do is click on a referral link, which I'll have mine down below if you want to go ahead and utilize that. Of course, it does support this channel and me continuing making videos like this for you guys, but you don't have to use mine. You can use anybody else's as long as you use a referral link to get that $50. If you just go to the website itself, you're just gonna be signing up with no additional bonuses. So what we're gonna talk about is just a few of the features that I've noticed so far from this bank account versus other banks, and want to pass some of that information on to you guys. Now, first and foremost with SoFi Money, just as far as who they are, they're actually a major student loan refinance company. I've actually talked about them before in the past when it comes to student loan refinancing, but they've definitely ventured out into a lot of other avenues, including having a bank account, or in this case, cash management. So with this cash management system, it is pretty much a checking and a savings rolled into one. So at least as of this recording, you can only have one account overall. So of course, this might defer some people from wanting to open one up because maybe they want to have multiple accounts like I do. But this can actually be a really interesting thing because as of right now as well, they have an APY of 2.25% on their actual account, which means that any money that's sitting in that account every single day will earn a little bit of money on their money while it's just sitting there, which is a really cool thing and I'm a huge fan of. But again, it is your checking and your savings essentially morphed into one. And with this account, you do order a debit card, which comes in the mail within about 5 business days. And then it does of course have an account number and a routing number, which is a big deal for people that want to use it for bill pay or to be able to send money from one bank to another. Now, one big advantage for this account, if you already have another bank that you pretty much bank with, is one, you get that awesome bonus for signing up, but then two, you can actually use this as maybe a side emergency fund. So if you have money sitting around at an account that's earning 1% or maybe even 1.5%, and you have this moved over to this account to have just sitting in there by itself, you could be earning 2.25%, which is a much better deal. And then in that way, you can just house that money in that account, use the debit card for only those emergencies and or the account and routing number if you have to transfer it to some other bank for some reason. So that's one really cool thing about SoFi Money. But from this first look, it doesn't seem like it's gonna be the best option for people to switch over to have this as like their full account. The bank system that they have, if you're okay with having everything lump sum into one, it might be a good option. But for someone like me, through this first look, it doesn't seem like the best options for having everything put together. So as far as the app itself, it seems pretty fluid, very easy to utilize. The whole premise of the account is to really just have money kind of coming and going. So for you to be able to kind of see your weekly spending is a really cool feature, because you can kind of see how everything's moving along. You can actually kind of go through at the bottom and see all your transactions, and then you can easily pay bills, send money, transfer, or even deposit checks, which is a pretty big deal for a lot of people. But other than that, it's kind of just bare bones at that degree. Of course, you can get your statements when needed as well, but just as far as the overall app, they actually have the whole premise of being able to check investments and even doing through your loans. So if you already have like SoFi loans or investing with them, this will kind of be integrated all into one app, which might be a cool feature for some people. But for me, it's not necessary because I already invest in other areas. So that's kind of how the app works. And make sure you stick around, because as I mentioned, we're gonna be showing you how to actually sign up for SoFi Money. And if you guys are enjoying this video, make sure you hit that like button down below. It really does help out this channel continue to grow. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. As I mentioned, this is a first look, so I'm not fully integrated with the app just yet. Once I do a few more weeks with this app, I will do a full-on review and hopefully be able to answer more questions to be able to pass that information back to you guys. So very similar to other online banks, transferring money back and forth does take a couple of days, at least from my first couple of tests. And that's not necessarily a bad thing for some people. If it's an emergency fund you're moving to, that money is just going to be there regardless. But if it's something very important, it does take a little bit of time. That's why the debit card will be in good use at that point. But it does seem a little annoying, especially when we have, free money transfer apps and even apps such as Zelle that allow you to transfer back and forth so quickly, which I know some of the other online banks are kind of joining in on that as well. So maybe SoFi Money in the future will allow, Zelle transfers, which would be super nice. So you get instant transfer for your money instead of having to wait 2 to even sometimes 3 business days. All right, so now what we're gonna do is actually go through the process of signing up for this SoFi Money so you guys can see the process in doing so. All right, so what I ended up doing is actually sending a text to my wife to be able to sign up for this, so we can show you guys the whole process. But you can click on links, you can do it through email, whichever way works, even on websites too. So we're gonna go ahead and click on the link here, and then it's gonna take us to the website. So you could do this on your phone, you could do this on a computer desktop, whatever is easiest for you is the way you can go. So here it says, Dennis wants you to get 50 bucks, sign up for SoFi Money today and get $50 when you fund your account with at least $100. So that's a big caveat there, and that's really the only caveat, to be honest, is to deposit the $100. So what we're gonna do is hit open an account. So we have that loaded up, and here it's gonna be very easy. It's just basic information. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in and then jump to the next screen. All right, so we finished up through the first part where we put our name, our email, and then our password. Here in the next section, it just makes sure that you have read and understand to all the policies and terms and conditions. Once you do that, just check mark I agree and hit continue. And then from here, it's gonna say what type of SoFi Money account would you like to open? So here it says you can have an individual account where it says go at it alone, but you can always invite a joint account holder later. And then for the joint account, it is 2 debit cards and full access for both you and a significant other. So of course you only want to do that if you are, entrusting with that other person, but you can always add them later if you so chose. In this video, we're just going to go ahead and do individual account. All right, so here it's going to ask for our address. So I'm going to just quickly fill this out and then go ahead and hit the next button. It does show on here that if you want, you can check mark where it says send my debit card to this address. So of course, make sure it's an address that you're not going to be moving away from, in the next week or two, because you don't want it sent to somebody else. All right, so I filled that out, and from here, let's go ahead and click on next. And it says, help us keep your account secure. Enter your mobile phone number to send a verification code via text to your phone. So we're gonna go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so we went ahead and put in that verification code, and it jumped us right over here to the next page. Where it just needs to confirm that we are a citizen of the US. So as of this recording, it looks like it's currently just for US residents. And then of course it's gonna ask for our date of birth and our social security number. Now, if you're a little weary on putting that information in, just keep in mind that any new bank account that you open up nowadays is going to require this kind of information. So I'm personally comfortable with giving SoFi this information. I feel confident in their ability to protect that information. As I mentioned, they're actually a pretty big student loan refinance company to begin with. So I'm okay with doing so. But if you're not, unfortunately, this part is required to continue on. So I put in all of that private information, and now it's just gonna have us double check to make sure we typed it in all correctly. Once we verify that, we're gonna go ahead and hit confirm. All right, so next up, it's going to ask a series of questions. I'm not gonna go into super detail here, but it is just asking if we've had, somebody in the family that works for FINRA or security brokerage firms, which is a no. Or saying if someone in my immediate family is an officer, director, or 10% shareholder of a publicly traded company, no. Just go through these and make sure you read them. Asks if you are a senior citizen, which I'm definitely not. And then next up here, it's going to have you go through and check mark after you read through the customer agreement, debit card agreement, and credit report authorization. It says we'll keep a copy of these in your SoFi account for your reference. So you can check on these later if you so chose to. So once we do that, we're gonna hit agree and submit. And now it says you got yourself a new account. All it needs is money. So very awesome. You saw how easy that was to just go ahead and actually create the account. Now what we're gonna do is actually transfer money into this account so that way we can get that $50 bonus. So now what we're gonna do is gonna go over here and click on add money. So we can transfer money onto this account. Now, here's the cool thing is it has a whole bunch of different companies already listed. And it says if you don't see your bank, you can connect by entering your account number and routing number. So don't fear if you don't see your bank directly on here. You could even search for your bank if you wanted to. Luckily for us, we have Capital One 360. It seems like they kind of know the clients that they're after because Ally and Capital One are right here on the top. So we're gonna go ahead and click on Capital One 360. And here I'm gonna go ahead and give the option of putting in my username and password. If you don't feel comfortable, you can go back and just enter in your account and routing number directly. So once you plug in your username and password, it'll take you to a page that looks like this. And I know it looks like I have a ton of checking and savings accounts because we do have a ton of those. Some of them are for our personal and some are business. But what we're gonna do is click on the one that is gonna be the one we want to transfer money out of. And what we're essentially gonna do, at least for my wife's account, is we're gonna keep our emergency fund money over there. But I just wanna start with $100 so you guys can see that just doing the 100 will help get that bonus as well. All right, so I confirmed which account we were gonna pull money from, and now I'm gonna go ahead and hit the connect button. And then from this screen right over here, it's gonna say, how much would you like to transfer? So of course I can put whatever amount I want. We're just gonna go ahead and do the $100 for this example. So it's gonna pull from our Capital One 360 savings account and then go ahead and put it into our SoFi Money account. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit next. And right over here, you're gonna see it's just gonna confirm everything, and it does say your money should be available 1 to 3 business days. Like I mentioned earlier, as of this recording, it just feels like it's been more on the 3 business day side from my testings. So if I can confirm everything, I'm just gonna go ahead and hit transfer money. So we're gonna do that, and then boom, we kind of get a green check mark there. And then we're gonna go ahead and hit done. And now it's going to show pretty much the account itself, which is of course on $0. It shows the 2.25 APY, 0 lifetime earnings from interest, of course, because we just started the account. So down here, we're gonna see where it says Capital One and then the deposit of $100. And usually by the next day or the day after, once that money is kind of being pulled into the account, you'll see another thing that says welcome bonus, and that's gonna be the $50 bonus for you signing up. Once you see that money kind of already pending in the account, if you wanted to, you can transfer your money back, or if you want to build this as an emergency fund or a secondary account, you can do that as well. So just like that, you are all good to go. You can also go ahead and download the SoFi Money app after this as well, so that way you have easy access to be able to log into your account and see everything from one view instead of having to use like a web browser or anything in that matter. So I hope that was super simple and very easy to get started, and I hope you guys enjoyed this first look at SoFi Money. If you want to see more banks offering sign-up bonuses, check out this video right over here. And if you want to see more videos just overall on this channel, check out this playlist here. And if you made it this far, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.